Hey there, it's Heather, your stay-at-home saving supermom. I'm here making life work on one income without sacrificing the fun. From budgeting wins to grocery hauls, plus some bonus content once in a while, I've got you covered. Let's hop right in. Welcome back for another weekly budget breakdown. We are on week 3 of April. We did get our bonus this week. And I have this cutie little balloon up here because my baby turns 3 on Monday. I cannot believe the time has gone so fast. I feel like I was just telling people that I was pregnant with my oldest and she'll be 5 in August. Like, it's just crazy to me. How are you guys doing? How has your week been? It is Friday. We made it. Thank goodness. It is 77 degrees outside today. So I am going to be outside all day with my kiddos. Thankfully the backyard isn't too muddy or anything, so we can bring out the soccer ball and the basketball and we can just play and have a good time. I do need to stock up on some bubbles because we don't have any bubbles or chalk, but I'm gonna wait until after my daughter's birthday party this coming weekend. Next weekend, the 26th. So because I did give some of those kind of ideas to some family members who were asking about gifts for her. So we'll see what she gets and then we'll just go to the dollar store and get the rest because the dollar store has been starting to come out with their summer stuff, and we always get their chalk and outdoor toys and that kind of stuff because they don't last very long, whether it's breaking or just the season itself. So the cheaper the better. But anyway, how has your week been going? Do you have any plans this weekend? I know it's Easter, so happy early Easter if you celebrate. Tonight we are going to my husband's grandma's house because we won't be with his dad's side of the family for Easter. We'll be with his mom's side. So we're gonna celebrate just some family gatherings tonight. And I don't know, we might barbecue, we might get some pizza, we might just do something very relaxing and just very simple since his grandma's going to be cooking for Easter, so we don't want anything too crazy. So getting into our budget this week, we did end up getting our bonus pay and our usual, what we're used to for cash stuffing, our new paycheck since my husband got his raise. So we knew that the bonus was going to be less than what we're used to, so I had to heavily revise the way that I distributed our bills. Because if you're new here and this is your first time watching one of my budget with me's, I already am a month ahead. So all of April's paychecks goes towards May bills. And so we already have all of April's bills paid for, and anything that is on auto draft that comes out, like our phone bill, our medical insurance, our mortgage, any subscriptions throughout the month, anything like that's automatic, then we just have our buffer in one of our checking accounts, and it just automatically pulls money throughout the month. And then on the last day of the month, we put all of what we stuffed throughout the month back into the bank, and that we either pay right away, so on the 1st, or we let it trickle as the month goes on for auto drafts. So that's kind of how we have our stuff set up. So it really helps us when we have to figure out what can I adjust for going forward. So I had already pre-adjusted everything. This is the second paycheck of the new adjustment. And And so it's going to be a lot easier going forward for the paychecks specifically, but for the bonuses, since it is varied and it can be higher or lower, then every single time we get the bonus, there may have to be some adjustments, based off of how much he gets, which is not a big deal. Those kind of months where we have to kind of adjust it because we didn't get paid as much, all of my sinking funds are the only things that get affected. And we're going to have to be adjusting it again in the next couple of months because we're going to be getting a new vehicle, a new lease, and so we're going to have to somehow add in a vehicle payment. So we'll see how that goes. And that's just a later problem. So for now, today specifically, this week, we are going to be working with $1,035 for the paycheck and then $1,990 for the bonus. And so total is going to be $3,025. And so I split that between bills and expenses, debt, and sinking funds. And so we're going to hop into our bills and expenses. For groceries, we're going to be doing $150 this week. And since this is the third to last paycheck, I am going to fill out the total saved. So that kind of helps us for what we need for next week. So for mortgage, we're going to be putting in $1,230. And after adding this, plus what is already in there, is going to be $1,580. And our mortgage is $1,755. So all I have to do is take the $1,755, I subtract it from here, the $1,580, and then that's how much the remaining, so it's $175. The remaining amount, the $175, is what I have to bring next week for the final paycheck of the month. I hope that makes sense. And if it doesn't, let me know in the comments and I can kind of break that down a little bit more with more detail to explain that better. Next is gas and electric, and that's going to be getting $70 this week. And after we add that to what's already in there, we're going to have $185. And next week, I will go over what our bills are and then how much we need to bring for the next paycheck. And so I'm not going to go through every single bill of what we need to bring for next week. That was, when I went over mortgage, that was just an example. So just to save time for today, I'm not going to be doing that moving forward. So our phone and Wi-Fi is going to be getting $85 this week. And after adding that to what's already in there, it'll be at $200. And then for our loan, we're doing $170 this week. And then after adding that, we will have $315. Subscriptions is getting $35 this week. And after we add that, that is going to be $110. Water, we are skipping this week and next week. Medical is going to be getting $110 this week. And then after adding that to what's already in there, it will be $355. And so if you add all of this, it will be $1,850. And I am going to double check my work, just because we do zero-based budget. So every single dollar that I budget goes to a specific place. And so I just want to make sure that I got it all right. So I'll be right back. Okay, and I did. Perfect. So I'm going to put that down here where it says expenses. And then before we move on to debt, I just want to go over here to virtual transactions. We are doing our normal $50 for gasoline, and then we are making our Sam's Club trip this weekend. We are going to do it tomorrow on Saturday, and we're going to be bringing $250. I do put this into, or keep it in our checking account because we use Scan and Go. And I'm telling you, if you are not using Scan and Go for Sam's Club specifically, I don't have Costco, so I don't know how that works, but I know Sam's Club has the Scan and Go, and it is the easiest thing that you could ever do, and probably the smartest, because it saves you from standing in line. And I don't know if every single Sam's Club is like this, but for the location that we could go to specifically, and the location that we used to go to at when we lived in a different city before we moved, we went to a different location for Sam's Club. So both of those locations are cashless, and so you're swiping your debit card or your credit card anyway. So using the Scan and Go is literally the same way. I know some people feel a certain way with putting their cards on their phone or in a wallet, or saving on any type of app. But if that doesn't bother you, then I highly recommend Scan and Go, because it saves you so much time and it'll keep you on budget. Because if you go in knowing how much you need to spend or how much you can maximum spend, then every single time you scan an item, you have a total right there, not including taxes. So obviously, give yourself a little bit of a buffer, but you already see what the total is going to be. So if I'm going with $250 and I scan something, and after a few things that I'm putting in my cart, and I see that I'm already reaching up to about $230, then I'm either going to scan one more small thing, or I'm just going to stop there and just have a buffer. And anything that I missed or that I need to go back for, then I'll just keep in mind for the next month that I go for, or I will save up a little bit of money and then I'll go another time. But it just keeps you on budget, and it's a lot faster, and you don't have to stand in those long lines. You just check out on your phone, and then it will show up as a QR code. Or if you're at like my location, it's almost like a security tunnel kind of thing. Like when you go through the security for like the airport or stadiums, then you go through like a metal detector kind of thing. So Sam's Club has that, and it automatically brings up your Scan and Go receipt on the worker's little machine that they have, and then they check you out and you're all set. And so it's literally the easiest, quickest process, and I highly recommend it. Okay, anyway, moving on from Sam's Club. So coming up here for debt, I am going to be doing $45 for my credit card. And then, so we are just going to be doing my minimum, and my minimum this month, I believe, is $153. It's $152 and some change. And I know that I used my credit card and I have to pay my credit card back. So when I do the end of the month next week, I'm gonna pull some money out from my envelopes and pay some things back, some transactions back. So essentially I'm gonna be paying my minimum, but I'm also gonna be putting more onto my credit card because I'm paying myself back. I hope that makes sense. And then for my husband, we're doing the snowball method for him for now. When we get a new vehicle, I know that's going to be something that we're going to have to stop doing, is the snowball, and I'm not worried about that because we are going to be continuing to do our debt binder. And so anytime I finish a challenge and do the debt and make the extra debt payments, that's going to still continue going to his credit card. But once we do get a new vehicle and we have a lease payment, or a car note, added back into our monthly budget, then the snowball is going to be one of the things that's going to be going away for just weekly stuffings. So It's just kind of how we have to figure out how to fit in things that are a necessity. And unfortunately, leasing a car is a necessity because we have a lease currently, and you can't keep a lease forever, and we're definitely not going to buy it out. So it's just something that you got to do what you got to do, you know? So my credit card and his credit card added up to $85. So I put that down here for $85. And now we're going to move on to the fun stuff. I'm really excited because we were able to do so much this month. For Savings Saturday, we're going to do our usual 40. Sunday Fun Day, we're doing our usual 100. And then $2 Tuesday, we're doing our usual 20. And what's super exciting is this week, because we got our bonus, we are going to be doing all of our binders. So debt binder is going to be getting $100. Christmas binder is getting $100. Month ahead is getting $45. Emergency fund is getting $40. And then these are, and my back to school that I just started last week is also getting its usual $30. And then, so these three are extras. So my dog, Luna, she's getting $115. And this pays for her grooming and then a little bit towards food. She still has a bunch of food left over, so I don't need it this month. I'm probably going to have to order it next month. And so I'm only putting $15 towards her food, and then next month I'll only have to bring, I think, $40 for the remaining food. So that's awesome. And then Thrive is going to get $150. And Thrive Market is where we get our monthly snacks and then some other household things. And I usually try to budget around $150 a month. And so this is going to be going towards our May box. So I already received April's box, and I do still have to unstuff that money to pay myself back. But it was, I want to say around 150, and I know we have around 190 something, so we'll have about a 40 something dollar buffer, which is cool. And then this last one is Klarna, and Klarna is a payment financing type of system. And like I had mentioned in a few videos, I made a huge investment for my soon-to-be Etsy shop, and so it was over $700, and so I have that spread out for different payments, and it's about $50 a month. I don't plan on just doing, it's an 18-month loan. I don't plan on doing the full 18 months. I plan on paying it off faster. Once I start getting paid through orders, then I will obviously pay that off a lot faster. But you know, you need products in order to open a shop, to have products already ready. So I was okay with making that type of investment and then taking this type of financing payment loan. So that is perfectly fine with me. Okay, so adding this all up should be $790. And I'm again going to check my work, and I'll be right back. Okay, $790 is perfect. So I'm going to put that down here, $790. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add up the virtual debt, expenses, and sinking funds, and that should equal up to my $3,025 for the income. And it does. Perfect. Okay, so now I'm going to flip this page over, and I already pre-filled this out just to save a little bit of time, but because we are not doing the gasoline and the Sam's Club, this number looks a little bit different than what we are budgeting all together. So this number down here is what we are bringing in cash, and so all of this is what we're going to be doing with cash, and it should add up to $2,725 when we are done. And let's hope that I did this properly. So for groceries, we're going to be doing 150. So we're going to do 100 and 150. For mortgage, for 1,230, we're going to do 12 hundreds, 120 and 110. For gas and electric, we're gonna, for $70, we're gonna do a 50 and a 20. For phone and Wi-Fi, for $85, we're gonna do a 50, a 20, a 10, and a 5. And then our loan is 170, so we're gonna do 100, 150, and 120. Subscriptions is 35, and we're going to do 120, 110, and 15. We're skipping water. Medical is getting 110, so that's going to be 100 and 110. My credit card is $45, so we're going to do 2 20s and a 5. And then my husband's is $40, so we're going to do 2 20s. Moving on to Saving Saturday, we are going to be doing 2 5s and 30 singles. For Sunday Fun Day, we're going to be doing 120, 6 10s, 2 5s, and 10 singles. And then $2 Tuesday, we're gonna do 1 spicy 5 and 15 singles. Now moving down here to our debt binder, it's $100, and we're gonna do 2 20s, 3 10s, 4 5s, and 10 singles. Our month ahead, every single envelope gets $5, and so we have 9 categories, so it's gonna get 9 5s. Our Christmas binder is getting $100, and that's gonna be 120, 6 10s, 2 5s, and 10 1s. Our emergency fund binder is going to get 6 5s and 10 singles. And then back to school is going to get a 20 and a 10 for $30, and that's because I don't break it up per page. I just use the calculator and I subtract whatever I do on the challenge, and then in total, out of all the challenges, I do the $30 and I stuff it into one envelope. So I just bring the as condensed as I possibly can. So for my dog Luna is 115, so I'm gonna do a 100, a 10, and a 5. And then for Thrive, for 150, I'm gonna do 100 and a 50. And then Klarna, I'm just gonna do a $50 bill. Okay, so now adding up all of the hundreds, we have 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. The 50s, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The 20s, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. For 10s, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 plus 6 is 10, plus 3 is 13, plus 6 is 19, 20, and 21. And then for 5s, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 plus 4 is 12. 12 plus 9 is... I have no idea right now. 12 plus 9, 21. 22, 23 plus 6 is 29, and then plus 1 is 30. And then we've got 30, 40, 55, 65, 75, 85. Now let's hope I did something right. Okay. Yay! We did it. We did it. Perfect. So that is how I break down my paychecks. So now I'm going to take these numbers right here, 17, 6, 14, 21, 30, and 85. I'm going to write it down on a sticky note, and then I'm going to take it to the bank, and I will cash stuff all of this, and then you will see my bills and expenses, and my reallocating of my bills and expenses, cash stuffing, and then reallocating the sinking fund money to my different various binders. And then, so that is going to be tomorrow morning. And then tomorrow afternoon around 3 o'clock, I am going to have my savings my savings Saturday. So I hope you all have an amazing Easter. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I will see you tomorrow morning and tomorrow afternoon. If you love saving money without missing out on life, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and stick around for more budget-friendly fun. Always remember, you are amazing, you are worthy, and you are more than enough. I'll see you next time.